So you're thinking about making a move to San Antonio, Texas. In this video, we're going to give you the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between so you can decide whether Stone Oak is the place for you. If this is your first time to our channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in San Antonio and its surrounding areas, make sure you subscribe and tap the bell for notifications. This will ensure that you are one of the first to be notified when we drop a new video about market conditions right here in San Antonio. My name is Katie Powers, and my husband Steven Garza and I get phone calls and emails from people just like you every single day that are looking to make a move into the area. Whether you're 6 days or 6 months away from making that transition, we would absolutely love to hear from you. All of our information is listed right below in the description box. Steve and I would be honored to be your realtors of choice and help you make that smooth transition into San Antonio and its surrounding areas. Now let's dive into the pros and cons of Stone Oak. Pro number one, location. Now you hear this a lot in real estate, location, 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 and Stone Oak is just that. It is a prime location. It's north central San Antonio, right off 281 and 1604. It gives you easy access to all the major freeways in San Antonio. You're about 15 minutes away from I-10, you're about 15 minutes away from I-35, and you're only a 15 to 20 minute drive straight into downtown San Antonio right off of 281. Now, another huge benefit to the location of Stone Oak is its proximity to the San Antonio International Airport. If you are a frequent flyer, whether it's for vacations and fun or for business, Stone Oak is a great location. So you have a super easy drive to the airport, and more importantly than that, you get away from the airport traffic noise. All of the planes actually fly more east when they leave the airport. So easy access to the airport without all of the noisy airplanes flying overhead. Just a great location overall.
Pro number two, jobs. Stone Oak is one of the only suburbs in San Antonio where you have true white-collar jobs within the suburb itself. It has multiple hospitals. It's got a bunch of medical facilities, the small one-story medical facilities that you see in many suburbs around the United States. It's got, your heart doctor, your lung doctor. I'm not a medical guy, so I don't know the terms, but it's got a ton of those facilities. Stone Oak also has, it's got a bunch of commercial space for lease for business owners. And then it's also got big corporate companies like Chase corporate headquarters in the east side of Stone Oak. It's one of the only suburbs, again, where you can actually live 5 minutes from where you work and you're not having to get on major highways to get across town to the big corporate companies or the hospitals. It's just an all-around great area.
Pro number three, very little construction. Now, I know that doesn't seem like a big deal, but here in San Antonio, we are growing so fast that it seems every which way you turn, there's major construction. But Stone Oak doesn't have a lot right now because they just finished the 281 and 1604 corridor. The 281 expansion project was huge, and it took a solid 5 to 6 years to complete, but it's finally finished. This took a 2-lane freeway with stoplights. And when I moved to San Antonio, that used to blow my mind. How can we call it a freeway when there's stoplights on it. Like, that just blew my mind. The traffic was horrible. But they turned that 2-lane freeway with stoplights into 8 lanes. So you've got 4 lanes coming and going on 281. There's no more stoplights. It's wonderful. They've got big overpasses, so it's easy to get on and off 1604 and 281. It's just overall very easy to get in and out of Stone Oak using 281. So that's one of the great benefits to living in Stone Oak. You might have some traffic, but you're not going to have construction traffic, which is absolutely wonderful.
Pro number 4 is schools. Stone Oak is located in the Northeast ISD, which is an award-winning ISD. It has 5 elementary schools. It has 2 great middle schools, and then one of the most sought-after high schools, especially for athletes. If you have kids, schools are a very important thing to you. Katie and I, we focus on this heavily. We got 3 kids in school, and so we want them to have a great future. We want them to have great education. And so schools, if important to you, are really some of the premier schools in San Antonio.
Pro number 5, real estate is a safe bet in Stone Oak. We have seen home prices increase steadily over the last 30 years in Stone Oak. This is one of the nicest suburbs in San Antonio. And so if you are looking to purchase a home in the Stone Oak area, it's really one of your safest places or safest bets to purchase a home. You know that your home value is going to continually increase because it is so sought after.
All right, so this brings us to con number 1. Like Katie said, with great real estate values, you're always going to have the H.O.A. And in Stone Oak, there are a minimum of 2 HOAs, and some subdivisions pay 3 HOAs. The HOAs are good though. They keep up the islands coming up Stone Oak Parkway. They maintain the entrances, but it is something that you do have to factor into your budget because HOAs are a very real thing in Stone Oak. I also want to mention the cost of some of these HOAs. The Stone Oak HOA is less than $200 a year, but it is a cost that you got to factor into your budget. And then the subdivision that you're going to be living in is also going to have an HOA, which could range between $600, $1,000 annually. And that's to maintain the facilities within the HOA itself. And so just keep that in mind with every nice area. I'm sure this is true for all areas of the country. With every nice subdivision in a very nice suburb, you're gonna have that HOA.
All right, con number 2 is dated homes. So if you've watched our Stone Oak vlog or the Stone Oak map video, we've given you a little history on Stone Oak itself. It was the first master plan community in San Antonio in the mid 1980s. Now in 1990 is when it really just took off. It exploded. So it's very common to see lots and lots of subdivisions in Stone Oak built from 1990 to 2005. There just isn't any more room for new construction homes. So if you're looking for homes that are built in like 2020 and newer, you're gonna have to go a little more north into Kinder Ranch or Timberwood Park to get those newer builds. But in Stone Oak, all of the homes are built between 1990 and 2005, 7, that time frame. So while we are seeing some of these homes get renovated and become more modern, the bulk of them are still a bit dated. So just something to keep in mind, that average median price point is around $495 and up. So you are spending a nice chunk of change for possibly a project home. But again, you're living in Stone Oak, and having the prestige of living in Stone Oak and the great schools is a great benefit. But just know when you're shopping at homes, you're gonna see quite a few dated homes in the area.
And now con number 3, the dreaded taxes. tax rate in Stone Oak is roughly 2.3, give or take, a very small percentage, but 2.3 is what you can factor in. The average homeowner in Stone Oak pays between $9,000 and $15,000 in property taxes annually. It is a very real factor when looking at real estate in the Stone Oak area, with it being one of the nicer suburbs of San Antonio. Along with that comes taxes. And so unfortunately, you just got to factor that into the annual budget and just know that you're getting great real estate, but at the same time, you're paying for it via taxes. The good thing with taxes though is 50% of it, or roughly 50% of it, goes towards our school system. So the Northeast ISD, if you have a lot of people paying high property taxes, then the ISD itself is having a pretty sizable budget to help facilitate the schools and pay the teachers to keep them happy. So they're educating our kids. All right, so con number 4 is traffic. Stone Oak has a 2-lane road going north and a 2-lane road going south. It's the main artery called Stone Oak Parkway. So it's got 2 lanes to use if you're heading into Stone Oak. And then if you're trying to get out of Stone Oak, you only have 2 lanes to work with until you get closer to the highways. Then it opens up and has that turn lane, which does help. But unfortunately, it is a total of 4 lanes only. And when you have 20,000 vehicles funneling in and out at rush hour at 8 in the morning or 7:30 in the morning, and at 5, you have everybody coming home, it does get congested. And you will be sitting at stoplights and white knuckling it, waiting to get home or to get to work. But it does have some relief. You can use Blanco Road, which runs on the west side of Stone Oak. And then you have Highway 281, which runs on the east side of Stone Oak. And then you also have Hardy Oak, which is the feeder road to help alleviate some of that traffic to neighborhoods. So it's gotten better as the construction has moved out of the area, but it is still something that you have to account for when going to work every day.
So this brings us to our final con, which is con number 5, stairs to enter into your home. So this might not be a big con for those of you that are moving into the San Antonio area from the East Coast. When I lived in Virginia, it was super common to have to walk up 6 to 7 stairs to enter into a home. That's not really common here in San Antonio, but because Stone Oak is really the beginning of the hill country for that north part of San Antonio, there's just a lot more like hill landscape. So a lot of these homes are built into the hills, which require you to have 6 to 12 stairs. In some cases, I just had a listing in Stone Oak that had a solid 15 stairs just to get into the first level. And then in the garage, there was another 10 stairs to get up into the home from the garage. So may not be a big con, but it is something that you want to keep in mind if you are moving to the area with an elderly family member. Stone Oak might not be the place for you guys. You can find a few homes that don't have the stair entry, but they're very few and far between in the area. So depending on your needs, you will want to take that into account. I've had quite a few clients move into the area and say they're not so fond of having a workout before they get into their home. So not the end of the world. It's really how you choose to look at it in your perspective, right? You could see it as a workout every day that's built into your everyday. So either way, that is it for our pros and cons for Stone Oak. I hope that you found it super helpful and insightful. If you are still wondering the location of Stone Oak in relation to San Antonio, please make sure you check out our San Antonio map video. And if you want to check out just how beautiful some of these neighborhoods are, Steve and I did a video on the Stone Oak vlog, and we tour you through 4 different neighborhoods in Stone Oak. So If you are interested in learning more, please feel free to reach out to us. Again, all of our information is listed right below in the description box. Whether you are 6 days or 6 months away from making that transition, we would love to hear from you. Thanks so much, and we will see you guys on the next one.